Hi, I'm Hayden, also known as Buckwad Blades, and this right here is the salvage steel that I'm going to be using for the Boar spear. I believe it is salvage leaf spring from a commercial truck. I'm not too sure what kind. I just kind of saw it, went, ooh, giant leaf spring. That'll work. So we're going to do some testing. I'm going to cut off a piece near all these holes down here, and I'm going to try to do a hardness test, see if it'll hold that edge or if it'll just work as a spear in general. So, let's get to it. Spiders. So I'm doing this and whacking the crap out of this like a cartoon because I'm trying to get it to break before I go and forge anything or ruin any of the hardness it already has, so I can try to check that grain structure before I go and ruin it from what it was at factory or how it just looks now. So yeah, gotta cut it a little more and then wail on it again. Fun times. Am I missing? There we go. Oh, I need to go to the gym. Yeah! Did it! Right here, I'm just preheating the anvil face because I haven't forged. I have a full-time job and I don't really have time to forge all day, so I'm preheating that so it doesn't suck the heat out of my piece. Yeah, I be sleepy. I be this one. I'm like a mix between like dead tired and mischievous axe. Like, I'm always on that goblin shit. This is day 2 for me. 85 days left of the Boar Spear Challenge, and so far all I got is my test piece drawn out to a relative thickness, and we'll go to a different POV to get a better view of what's going on, and I can explain what's going to happen next to y'all. Okay, so from here I'm going to stick it in the forge, and I'm going to try to get the steel a little more annealed, and then I'll cut it right on those lines to make 3 different bits, and then I'll bevel those bits, and I'll heat treat each of these either the same way, 2 the different way, or 3 different ways. So one of them will be the perfect way, one will be a little colder of a quench, one might be a brine, one might be a hotter quench, and then we'll temper these to see which temper would work for them. Because it's a salvage steel, I want to make sure I'm making this as accurate, hardened, and not volatile so someone doesn't use it and then it shatters everywhere, because that would be on me. So we're gonna do our own testing, and we'll see what happens to this when we do our tempers and whatever hardness and hardening and quenching I decide to do with it. Let's get started. I'm in trouble. Don't forget your PPE. Wear gloves, wear eyeglasses, and if you think you really need it, wear a hat, because your hair catching on fire is a thing, and it sucks. So, do your due diligence, check your boxes, wear your safety equipment, because trust me, it helps. Alright, as you enjoy this epic toilet paper bit, I'm here to tell you that the rest of the first test footage was lost due to a drive error on my computer. So, we're going to go straight into testing a much better piece we picked up from the junkyard.
Also, please excuse the wind noise. I can't tell when the wind or the fans are bugging out my mic. So, yeah, hopefully you can hear what I'm saying. Sorry about that.
This beast. So I also think this is a commercial truck leaf spring, but it is obviously much more leaf springy, I would say. It's a full piece, so I'd say this is a little more light 5160, but we'll do more testing like we did before, and see what we can get out of it, because testing. So what I'll do, and you'll see in a second, you can skip through it or whatever, but I'll just do like a real quick time lapse, because it's just going to be the same testing that I did on that first batch. So I'll just go through it real quick. You're welcome to skip. Otherwise, I might talk over it, but yeah, let's get the testing going. Look how massive this thing is.
So we're going to be cutting this spring to size. And here I'm showing y'all that I am in fact wearing protective equipment before I start cutting this beast of a spring down to a much more manageable size. As I'm cutting into this spring, notice how the sparks are extra sparkly and bright. That is a very good sign for the makeup of this steel and hardening. And here you can kind of see me break it off and look at the grain. Obviously it's a great grain, and we're going to continue from there. And I'm going to isolate a bit so that I can test the rest of this steel and get a good idea of how it's going to react and how I can harden it. Right here, all I'm doing is drawing out my big test piece to the preferred thickness for testing. But I just thought it was really cool how the frames kind of catch up with my hammer swings. Makes it look kind of stop motion while the fan in the background is just going ham, having a good time.
Alright, day 6. We gotta get the forge lit so I can do some hardness testing and some quenching on the new stock that I have. So it'll be pretty much exactly like the first half of the video. Same testing, water, oil, bevel testing, edge testing, stuff like that. And we'll see how it turns out. But it'll be time lapse, because who wants to see the same thing twice, right? So let's get started.
So right here, I'm just getting the oil ready, getting the thermometer in there, making sure it's all settled, all good, getting some wood chipped up and some cardboard in there, and starting the forge to get it all warmed up. Alright, I lied. I don't know if I lost it in a hard drive error or if I just neglected to record it, because at this point I was so done with the failures and the testing not going very well, but you'll see. The end result is really good.
Alright, now for the fun part. We gotta crack these, so we gotta break them in half. I already did a little pre-cut, so it has a guideline. This one specifically was quenched at a very high heat and really heated oil, so we'll see how this one explodes. So there's that set of testing. I guess I'll show you guys what they look like. I'm confident this time. I'm pretty confident. So this one was the water quench, and I'll show you that one right now.
This is just a heads up. I could not get this to focus for the life of me, so you won't really be able to tell how the grain looks. You can kind of tell, but if you need a better picture and a more high definition picture, go ahead and go over to my Instagram. I have much better pictures of the grain structure there.
This is low temperature oil, but the perfect heat, so non-magnetic.
Second time's a charm. Nah, you won't really tell unless you really know what you're looking for. Just head over to the Instagram. I really don't stop trying to get it to focus.
This one, I think I messed up a little bit because the middle is perfect, but the outside is like really sand, like gritty. And I think it's because I had put it in water to cool down like 5 minutes after I had just hardened it, so it was still pretty hot on the outside. I might be wrong. Here's that. So this is my third.
Third time is not the charm. You can kind of tell, even though it's blurry, but the difference between that outer big grain and the inner really fine grain, but that's about it.
I believe this one was really high temperature, really high quench. Pretty sure.
See, even with this fourth try, you can see how crystalline and big that structure is. That is horrible.
And then this one was everything perfect. Perfect temperature for preheated oil for the quenching. Perfect non-magnetic. And, you know, I kept taking it out. Even heat, everything.
Yeah, next time I'm just gonna take some pictures. Otherwise, I'm gonna link the post in my description.
So fingers crossed, this also isn't foreshadowing, that this piece will work. I will consult the ferrite gods and see if this works. So that's my day 6.